Hey guys, it's MadameWario, and welcome back to more on how to make Let's Plays. Today I am covering how to gain an audience. It's a tricky topic. There's no one way to do this, nor is there really a right way to do this. However, there is a wrong way to do this. So, first of all, I'm going to be covering basic stuff like, well, the do's and don'ts of gaining an audience, and just tips and tricks of what an audience typically expects that separates a successful LPer from an amateur LPer. So, getting started, I'm going to start with the, what do I want to call this? I'm going to start with what you should never do to gain an audience. This is my list of do nots, okay? So, yeah. The first thing you never ever should do is ask for a shout out. Don't ask for a shout out. It's a terrible, terrible idea. Because it's not genuine. You are just after subscribers. You're not after quality of your videos. You're not after actually getting people to like your videos. You're just after a number. And a number is not attractive to successful LPers on YouTube. When you whine to them, will you give me a shout out? I don't have any subscribers. Oh, that's so annoying. I can get, you know, a novel private message from a subscriber of mine, and it'll say all these wonderful things, and then it'll say, would you mind giving me a shout out? And I don't even reply, I don't respond. I click the delete button immediately because it's so disrespectful. It really is. You guys might not think of it that way when you submit those messages, but you just should never do that. People are going to subscribe to you if they like your videos and if they think you make quality Let's Plays. They're not going to subscribe to you just because somebody with a lot of subscribers told them to. So, you know, never ask for a shout out. If you do, you will never make it in the LP world. I'm sorry, that's just the harsh, honest truth, because you'll never be in it for the right reason. Also, to go along with that, never ask for a sub for sub. That is the stupidest thing I've ever heard of. And for those of you who don't even know what it is, I applaud you. But also, to explain it, it's basically when somebody subscribes to you, then they'll send you like a channel comment, which are, I guess, kind of obsolete just because they're so hard to find now on your channel. But they'll send you a channel comment and they'll be like, sub for sub, which means that because they subscribe to you, they expect you to subscribe to them. These people are doofs. Don't be a doof, okay? So those are the do-nots of gaining an audience, the main ones that I can think of right off the bat. Next thing I'm going to talk about is updating. You want to be reliable to a future audience, or even your current audience. If you have a total of 3 subscribers, you want to be reliable to them. So what I would suggest doing is making an update schedule. It doesn't even have to be extremely detailed. I usually say which days of the week I am uploading specific projects, but there are other LPers on YouTube who just say uploaded, you know, however many times a month. You know, they don't say, you know, it's going to be on Tuesday and Wednesday and Thursday. You don't have to do that. Just as long as you get enough videos out there when you can, to the point where an audience is not waiting too long in between, that, you know, they can successfully follow it without losing you or forgetting about you in the process. That being said, something you don't want to do is over-update. Do not post more than 1 video per day every day. That is like LP suicide, because I know you're probably thinking, well, if I get a ton of videos out there, I'm going to have so many more videos on YouTube, it's going to be easier to find me because I'll have so many. It does not work that way. I know it might seem like it does, but it really doesn't, and it just causes your audience to get overwhelmed, or even your potential audience to see, whoa, this person updates like 6 times a day. I can't even keep up with this. I'm not subscribing to this person. I'm sure we all have the Facebook friend or whatever who has a status like every 5 minutes. It's like, I'm getting in the shower now. I forgot to brush my teeth today. Oh, I'm so tired. I need to go to bed. And you're like, shut up. None of this stuff is important. And then you delete them. Yeah, like that is how I feel about people who over-update on YouTube. Usually it's done innocently because you're not really thinking, oh, you know, people aren't going to like that. You're just thinking, people want that, and that's not true. So don't over-update. People are going to get overwhelmed with that, as you will too, eventually. Maybe not right at the beginning, but later on you're going to be like, oh my god, I can't update this often, and people are not wanting you to. It's kind of the same thing I said in my video about your approach. Commentary does not have to be non-stop without breath in between words. You can sit there and breathe for a minute. You don't have to talk non-stop. It's the same thing with updating. You can update, you know, twice a week. It's not a big deal. Twice a week is enough for starting out, if that's all the more time you have. If you want to do, you know, 1 video per day, that's okay too. I wouldn't recommend that starting out just because you're not going to have as big of a following right away. So people can feel like, you know, they're going to go to your channel and be way behind. That's kind of how I personally feel about that. But yeah, updating is really important. And if you've got a steady update schedule and it's not too overwhelming, but it's not, you know, 1 video a month, then, you know, you'll be fine. An audience will enjoy that and be fine with that. So that goes along with sticking to a schedule, honestly. So those are some technical points. The next thing I want to talk about is interacting with your audience. It's good to make a connection with your audience and not remain, you know, a shadow in the wind or whatever. You want to respond to comments, respond to private messages, and you know, just acknowledge your audience for being there. Whether, you know, like for me, I get so many private messages that it's hard for me to answer them in a very timely manner, unfortunately. But it's just one of those things that I really put a lot of emphasis on, though, and I feel very apologetic for not doing when I can't do it because I don't have time. Because I always want to acknowledge my audience, and I get such like wonderful fan private messages on YouTube that I'm like, I need to respond to this. And usually I'll set aside like a day where I just, you know, or an afternoon where I do nothing but answer private messages. Some are like a month old, like it's just because it's overwhelming. But at first, if you don't have many people, you know, tackling you right off the bat, which tackling is a good thing, but it is overwhelming. It gets overwhelming. Then, you know, definitely respond to those private messages. And you don't have to write a novel response either. It can be short and sweet, but just as long as you acknowledge your audience. Same thing goes for comments. Usually comments are always short anyway, but comments are a lot easier to, you know, respond to. Or just, you know, in your videos saying, oh, thanks so much for watching. I mean, that really goes a long way, instead of being like, yeah, you guys need to subscribe more because I'm lacking on the subscribers. Like, that's just stupid. Don't do that. Okay, so that being said, I'm going to move on to a topic I get asked about a lot, which is involving comments, but they are nasty comments. People have asked me, you know, what do I do if somebody bullies me on here or says something bad about my videos? I don't know what to do. I just started. Why are they being mean to me? Chances are, the person's insanely immature who is commenting. Also, the person who is commenting is probably a total loser who does not have anything better to do with their life than, you know, try and belittle you because they're just trying to feel powerful. Or they just want to be a jerk and a know-it-all. And there is a block button for a reason, so don't be afraid to use it. You know, it's true. There's always going to be the person that's like, you suck at this, and you just have to say, well, you suck balls, and then just delete their presence from your page. Really, never, ever take it personally. Do not ever take it personally. 'Cause you don't even know this person. You don't need to take it personally. There's really no reason to. So, just ignore them. I know it's easy to get, hyped up and like, oh my god. You never need to believe those. If you let those define you, you will not make it in the LPing world. There are far more people out there ready to, be happy to have your videos. Those are the people you want to acknowledge. You don't want to acknowledge the dimwits who just want to attack you because they're complete doofs anyway. Same thing goes with, like self-reveals when people are like, I don't like you. You're like, well, good, because I don't like this comment, so later. Something I've been telling my sister all the time because she has just started LPing is I've been telling her all the time, I say, you do not have to be nice to everyone because you just started. If you are, they will walk all over you. And it's really, really true. It's unfortunate, but it's true. If you get a nasty comment, delete it. You don't have to be nice. You can tell them, you're just a bully and I don't need this, so look who took the time to, comment on my video. They don't even, deserve anything. They don't even deserve a response, so just block. Honestly. Never worry about it. If you worry about it, that's when you won't make it. So just, press the block button, press the delete button. It really does not, it's not going to matter that one person is not there to belittle you. Because I know it's very exciting at first to, oh, I've got these subscribers and people are watching, and then if you get that nasty comment at first, it's like, it's just like frustrating, like, what do I do? And you're not doing anything wrong. People are just, immediately jealous and immediately threatened. So, don't worry about it, honestly. Just don't worry about it. So yeah, enjoy the time when you are first building your subscriber count. I can't emphasize that enough. I know it seems, odd to emphasize that probably because you're wanting to gain so many subscribers so fast. But really, I remember when I first started my YouTube channel and I didn't know anyone and I didn't, I didn't really know anything other than just what I wanted to do. And every subscriber, I got, or every comment I got, I should say, comment and subscriber was like, oh my god, I'm to this number now. Oh my god, this person is subscribed to me. Ooh, I have 40 subscribers. I was so excited. I remember seeing that I had 40 subscribers, and I think that it was probably most emphatic for me to see 40. The number, 40, beyond any other number I've seen, just because, the other numbers, you guys have heard me say this before, the thousands, it's like, huh? It's overwhelming. It's really hard to imagine. But just starting out, it's just like, oh my god, this many people are actually listening to me and watching me, and it's really exciting, so never cheat yourself out of that. That is something I will say for sure. Do not cheat yourself out of the experience of when you first start out, because it's so much fun. It really is. And I've kind of cheated my sister out of that a little bit because, just because she's my sister and, she is very good at LPing and she does a great job with it already. I've kind of cheated her out of that initial, first getting those, mysterious subscribers, because, most subscribers are going to know who she is in relation to me, so it's, not a mystery who she is. But, enjoy that. It really is, I'm not making it up, I'm not saying it just so you'll feel better for not having, a zillion subscribers right off the bat. I'm saying it because it's really true. It's an enjoyable time, so don't take it for granted. I was lucky enough to have my first subscriber be Slim Kirby, which was, I don't even know what. I was just kind of like, what? I'm pretty sure that I just didn't even comprehend it for a week and a half, because I was like, there's no way that he was the first one, and I didn't know him at all. I hadn't ever talked to him before, or, you know, I'd watched some of his video. I'd watched his Mario Party LP, you know, the summer before, and that was it. And then I hadn't even thought about it or, you know, watched it for months, and then it was like, what? This person who I watched? So it was extremely exciting to see that, which brings me to the next thing I want to talk about, which is actually networking. Networking is a big deal. You want to get a basis of people who, you know, you can connect with on YouTube and you can kind of follow, and it's fun to find the others who are just starting out like you are, because then you grow with them. I remember when I first started, Tina Von Rotter, who's another LPer, I think her username is actually Tina Von Rotter Games, but she started right when I did, and I remember subscribing to her, you know, early on, because she was new and I was new, and, you know, we talked, and you know, we had communication on YouTube, and we kind of became friends, and, you know, it was great to be able to follow somebody else who was in my same boat right then. And you know, I don't talk to her as much anymore because she's gotten busier with subscribers, and so have I. But it's really exciting to make those connections right off the bat, and just be like, oh, this person is starting out too. So I remember that, and it's really cool to grow with people. Something else you want to do is, you know, this is something I did, is watch other people. Watch them, support them, comment on their videos as well, comment on their channels. I mean, if you put your name out there to those other people, or what you consider to be big names, or people who you are a fan of, they're going to see your name. They're going to, you know, see you and be like, I wonder who that person is after a while. I've done that before. And that is actually how Slim Kirby found me on YouTube, because I commented on one of his videos and he thought my name was interesting. But, you know, it's just one of those things where you want to be supportive of everybody else. You want to be as supportive of everyone else who is doing the same, I don't know, who is LPing too, I guess. Just because, you know, you give them support, they'll give you support. It's kind of just how it works. So that's a great way to network with people and to gain friends as well. I have so many friends from YouTube now. It's crazy. And I never imagined I would be friends with anybody on YouTube, honestly. So yeah, it's really a lot of fun to gain an audience and get all that stuff going, and it's really fun to start out fresh. And, you know, as odd as it may seem, starting with 0, you can only go up. So there you go. You're at the bottom, so all you can do is gain more people and become more successful. So those are my tips on gaining an audience. As I said, it's a pretty tricky topic, and there's no one right way to do it. There's really only, you know, wrong things to do, but I've covered those, and yeah, that is all I have to say about that. Other than that, I guess I am done with this episode for now. So, or with this series for the moment. I've got one more episode I plan to have, but that is all. So this has been MadameWario with How to Make Let's Plays, Gaining an Audience edition. And thank you so much for watching, and I really want to thank everyone for their comments and their thank yous and just their support on this series, and for their help within the comments as well, because you guys have been providing a lot of great tips on equipment and different things like that for other YouTube users, so I really appreciate that. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the final video of How to Make Let's Plays. Peace out, pimps!